Mixed Tag Show.
With Jenna and Blue.
Damn. Now, here's your host,
Jenna and Blue Magic.
What's going on, everybody? It's the Mixed Tag Show with Jenna and
Blue.
Exactly. We're coming straight from Nola. Why are you looking at me like that?
Come on, man.
What are you talking about?
You're being a little extra right now.
What do you mean? You always call me extra.
Why are we sitting in a mask right now?
Because this is the mask I got when I was in Nola. It's the Pelicans mask.
Wow. Okay.
And they gave it out for free at the game.
Okay.
And I thought it would be dope to wear. Look. I got you one. Tag team.
Thank you.
Yeah?
No.
No Lucha Party?
No Lucha Party. No. We're okay. Thank you.
You got to try it on?
I'm not going to try it on. Were we supposed to? You had a whole idea for this? It was.
Forget it. It's okay.
Okay.
No, it's all right.
No, it's cool?
No, it's all right.
Okay.
It's okay.
All right.
Cool.
You were taking a picture of yourself too? Is that what you were?
It's all right. It's
okay.
cool.
No. Okay. Cool.
That's all right. Leave it alone.
We're gonna start the show.
Yeah, let's just start. All right. Y'all can't say I don't try. Like really. So
Doing a little too much, but okay.
whatever.
Okay.
Coming straight from Nola. Jenna's coming straight off the plane.
Literally straight off the plane.
I came out the day before. You know, I had to handle some things. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
So yeah, how was your Nola side of the trip?
So I told you this is a lot of people assume that this was my first WrestleMania, but this is actually my second, the first one being at MetLife. But this is my first time actually experiencing the whole WrestleMania experience. So I went to Access, I went to WrestleCon, I went to every show. I'm broke. But with that said, I had a blast. It was super, super fun.
Who's your favorite wrestlers that you met during Access?
Oh, man. So I went to, of course, I did VIP with Sasha.
Of course.
You know, that's always a given. I did VIP with Andrade, Ember Moon, and Zelina.
Okay.
So that was super cool. Zelina was super nice.
Yeah, how short is Ember Moon and Zelina?
Ember, I didn't get that impression that she was short. Maybe she was wearing heels. I know she was dressed very nicely.
Okay.
They all were, but you know,
Yeah.
I didn't get that impression. But I was like, wow, Zelina's really short, and
Yeah.
I'm short. You know what I mean? I think when you're short, you don't realize how short you are until you're standing next to someone else. But you know, I had to represent. Like I said, she's from Queens.
Right.
She's Puerto Rican. I'm
Right.
from Queens, Puerto Rican. So she
There
was
you
super
go.
nice, and she took a picture of me and my friend on her phone.
Yeah.
So that was cool.
Yeah, they both posted up. Andre and Zelina, they posted up.
Famous now, baby.
You
That's
hot
it.
out here.
We live. But yeah, that was cool. I saw Carmella during Access. I tried to see Paige, but that line was long, and she left pretty early because they had to send her to the Hall of Fame.
Right.
I met Liv Morgan and Sarah Logan.
Okay.
Who else did I meet?
Who was your favorite though?
My favorite, like I said, of course, it's gonna be Sasha. It's always a good time when I see her.
Right.
Everybody was cool. It was just a good vibe. It was just like I said, I got to really experience just waiting on all those lines and just meeting other fans, my friends that I know that are super fans as well. I wanted to do the entrances at Access when they have, they set it up. Me and my friend were supposed to do the Usos. We had the merch and he had the titles, so we were going to do that. But, time, the time constraint. But I went to WrestleCon. I met Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah, we posted that picture up on our Instagram.
Yeah, we did. Imagine, this is, again, I was raised in the Attitude Era, and you're telling me I got to meet the biggest, if not the biggest star of the Attitude Era.
Right.
He was super nice, too. He helped me with the belt. He put his arm around me.
Yeah, gave you a little nice snuggle.
Yes, we had a connection.
Smiled mad hard. I'm like,
wow. But yeah, I met him, and then Trish and Lita too. That was cool.
Yeah, that's pretty dope.
Got posted on Trish's page because I had her shirt on.
Yeah.
So yeah, I probably have to go with Stone Cold and Sasha.
Yeah.
So I would have liked to met more, but there's other events.
Any Access stories that you have?
Any Access story in regards to?
Like when you met a superstar or...
No, I mean, no. It was just I told Carmella I had a bone to pick with her because her thing is her gear is wearing J's and sneakers, and you know I wear J's and sneakers. So here I am wearing my best, and she's wearing heels, and I said,
I expected better.
I expect not better, but just come on. And she's like, listen, I wanted to switch it up, so that was cool. Sasha shouted like my sneakers too. She's a little sneakerhead herself, and then Liv Morgan too. You know, she's a sneakerhead.
Dope. She's really into sneakerhead.
Yeah, she's like, oh, I don't have those. I want those. Blah blah blah. So it was just a really good time, and I'm glad I experienced it. It's tiring though, waiting on lines for like 7 years. It's a tiring experience.
It's an experience.
And I'm old, so you know I had to keep up with these young bucks. But
show them your nails. You had the New Orleans.
No, we can't show them because it's chipping right now.
Oh, come on.
But I had.
We'll put up on Instagram. I'm gonna sneak a picture for you guys.
Because I will make sure my hands are balled up like this just in case I have to punch
I'm
you.
gonna snatch a screenshot or something.
Why would you do that? Why would you want to embarrass me?
Right.
A little bit.
All right, whatever.
But it was cool. So I had a good time in regards to access. WrestleCon was a little crazy.
I heard that.
Yeah, it was just the venue that they held it at, the Sheraton.
Right.
It was very hot. Which
hot.
is funny because the other floors there was air conditioning, but for that particular floor, it was a sauna in there.
That's a setup. They're trying to make sure people come in and out as soon as possible so the next people can come in.
Yeah, and it was crazy because
I'm lying. I don't know. I'm just joking around, guys.
Yeah. Because I didn't know. I paid for photo ops. I didn't pay to get signatures autographs. Right. Because it's cool to get an autograph. I think a picture is
last longer.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
So I didn't know if you had to go there, here, and it was a big confusion. But it was cool. I felt like a kid in a candy store, and I think all wrestling fans felt like that because you had all in one room: Ric Flair, Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, Young Buck, Golden Lovers.
Yeah.
You know, freaking Tenille. I said Ric Flair already. Yeah. You just really had all these people. And Sting, you had both Stings, one with the red and black and then
got
the
white. Wolf Pack in the
classic. So you had everybody there. It was surreal to see that, like people that you grew up watching. Mm-hmm. But I don't think I can do it again. Apparently in Orlando it was a bigger venue, so it wasn't as crazy, but unless you told me The Rock finally would do WrestleCon and I have to drop like $300, $400.
Yeah, wait some time for that. I don't think he'll do it now. He's surpassed that moment.
But he is. But you just never know, right? Who'd have thought Stone Cold would actually do it? And he did it for more than one day, like different sessions. So you just never know. But it was definitely a cool experience that I'm glad I got to experience.
That's dope.
What about you?
I had a pretty opposite experience. It was still dope.
Yeah.
Like, I still had a lot of fun. Yeah. I don't do the access and stuff like that.
Okay.
Because I'm just not that,
Oh, okay, Mister. I'm too cool.
It's not that I'm too
Excuse
cool.
me.
I know the time that it takes, and I know that the patience it takes, and I just don't have that.
That's true.
I just don't have it. So mine's went a little bit different. Yeah. I went to the indie events in terms of like who had what. Yeah. Thursday I went to Wrestlemania.
I was too tired for that. I paid for my ticket $20 down the drain, but
yeah, I had fun at Wrestlemania.
I saw you out there.
Yeah, if you've seen it on my Instagram, whatever, I had a lot of fun at Wrestlemania.
What's your Instagram?
At Blue Magic Grind. Nice plug. Thank you very much.
That's what I'm here for.
I mean,
if you're not gonna do it, I'll do it.
I appreciate you sometimes.
Sometimes, cool. All right.
So yeah, Wrestlemania was pretty good. I met Cedric Alexander.
Yeah.
I met Austin Aries. Yeah. RVD was there. Marty Scurll was there. Mm-hmm. Got into a little run-in with James Storm.
Wow.
Had a good fun time with James Storm.
Nice.
He was at the bar with me, and I know he was trying to get out the way because it was like near everybody else. And I'm like, yeah, I told the bartender to take him first. Mm-hmm. He's like, thanks a lot, man. I appreciate it. And then he ordered his drink. And then when I was in the VIP, I was at the bar. Felt somebody massaging my shoulders. I'm like, who the hell is giving massage in the crowd? Right. I turn around. He goes, oh, you didn't think it was me, did you? It was James Storm.
Oh, that's so cool.
And he's like, I owe you a drink. It's on me. I'm like, oh, perfect. Thanks. So that was a great experience. Cool. Friday, I went to the I went to the Kevin Nash party.
Steve Nash is into wrestling. I don't know.
Right. Whatever. I went to the Kevin Nash party. That wasn't as fun as it was supposed to be, but it was open bar.
I almost dropped a lot of money for that.
Yeah, I dropped it.
Yeah,
I dropped it. I didn't drop the top tier one.
But
I did drop 100. So
someone's balling.
I mean, it was open bar. So even though
you got your money's worth in that sense.
I did. Because they had some random guy performing 8 songs, and he proposed to his girl in between one of the songs. Well,
that's nice.
We don't know who he is. Like, everybody kept looking at him like...
let the man
But he didn't propose like the seventh. Sorry, he didn't propose like the seventh, eighth song. Like we sat there to like songs like, who is this guy?
Yeah, but you know,
But yeah, I did get my money's worth at the bar because
have a heart.
It didn't. Yeah, they had their own issues that I'm not getting into.
Yeah.
Saturday, I went to Rosenberg's heat and greet that he had going on, so it was cool.
Where was the invite?
Hmm?
Where was the invite?
What?
What? Where was the invite?
I thought you was doing access. You was online.
Yep. You could have told me, hey.
I mean,
Hey, buddy. Hey, Jenna. Yeah,
So
you were very incognito this week.
I was. I'm low key at every event, to be honest.
That's fine, but you know, if we're it's a partnership, you know.
I know,
hey,
but
buddy.
like I said, I know you was at
Yeah,
access.
no.
Don't be trying to.
No, you see, that's
Don't be
you know
trying to.
what?
Don't try that.
Right, because
Look, all right. Don't be
'cause
inviting.
I have some bones to pick with you.
We got company.
Okay. Sorry about
We
that.
got company.
My fault. Okay.
Anyway, so yeah, and then we went to NXT Takeover. We had fun at Takeover, and we'll get into all that stuff. But in terms of like experience, I had a fun experience.
How dope was Bourbon Street though?
Bourbon Street was hot. I ran
Right.
into a few people on Bourbon Street.
I definitely ran into quite a few wrestlers, and like you said, you're low key. I'm low key in the sense where, if I see someone in the airport or just in the street, you don't want to bother them, and I'm not knocking anybody that does.
Right.
But I think the fact that I was a little intoxicated made it easier to be like, hey, But
Right.
everyone that wrestlers that I ran into were all super cool and friendly and took pictures.
Right.
you
Because
saw them.
honestly, you went the first night.
Yeah,
when
it was everybody was in there.
Yeah, everybody was. All that's when the wrestlers touched down.
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't too many fans around, stuff like that.
Yeah, it was just chill vibe.
I went to Thursday night and I went to Friday night, so I got to see different wrestlers.
Yeah, it was just it's a surreal moment. Just
Right.
you watch these people on TV and you're fans of the product and what have you, and just to see them, they're regular people.
Yeah,
And it's cool to just
Shoot, I took a great picture of Goldberg on the walkway.
I saw that.
Like, just
A
walking
selfie.
by. You took a selfie.
Meanwhile, people had to pay an arm and a leg, but
You know what I'm saying? I didn't even know he's gonna do like the whole punching thing to the face. I'm like, yeah, can I snap a picture? He's like, yeah, sure. I'm getting ready to snap, and I see him, I'm like, oh, this is perfect.
I saw him walk into one of the bars too. But yeah, in general,
And just with the fans, just having fun with fans
Yeah,
on Bourbon Street,
yeah.
it was just like,
yeah. Sometimes the fans are a little too extra, but in general, it was a good vibe. Yeah, again, in New York, you can't sit there walking down the street
No, you can't.
with liquor or whatever.
right.
But no one got crazy.
Nobody didn't. No, I didn't hear no bad incidents that happened in the weekend.
My last day, I finally got to experience authentic Louisiana cuisine.
What did you have? I did too on my last day and my first day
With
too.
the whole time we were there, it was just junk.
Yeah.
One of my friends was obsessed, had to go to that food truck. So we went there. You went there.
Yeah, I went there too. The wings are pretty good.
Yeah, I'm not I like spicy food and stuff like that, but it really had my taste buds were swollen. But
Yeah, it was kind of heavy on
it was heavy.
I had the lemon pepper and
Yes,
the lemon pepper had a lot of salt. I'm
yo.
sitting here like, I don't know if I'm gonna eat this last wing.
I promise you, I left
I need
two.
some water.
I left 2 or 3. I'm like, no, I can't do this.
But the food is good.
It's
They're
good.
very
I'm not.
good.
I'm not. Yeah, it's
No
good.
knock to you guys. Just light up on the salt a little bit.
Well, no, you can't even say light up. It's just that's what they're used to.
Right.
For us, we're from New York.
Yeah.
But
In
like
Jersey. I'm from Jersey.
we're from New York, so my
I'm
taste.
from Jersey.
So anyway, my taste buds were like legit swollen. I'm like, damn. But I had this. We went to this one place the last day called Gumbo Shop, something like that. We had like crab cakes, gumbo, jambalaya,
I wanted to try those so bad.
and we had beignets. So that was
Yeah, I kept hearing to try that, and I didn't even get a chance to.
that. If you go there, you have to have it. It was super good.
Well, I'm
super
planning.
good.
I want to go back there just to see the town because the town was just amazing. It has a lot of great history that I was hearing about. The first day when I touched down, I had a po' boy, a shrimp po' boy, from one of the hood spots. Apparently, they didn't cook it right. I got nauseous after like 2 bites.
Oh wow.
And then my line sister I was with, she's like, "Yeah, they didn't make this right. You could tell they need to change the oil." I'm like, "Yeah, this is not sitting right with me." I don't. And on the last day, I tried crawfish.
I wanted to try crawfish.
Which is an experience. Crawfish tastes like shrimp and crab met up and had a child.
Is that what it tastes like?
That's what it tastes like.
Okay, thank you
So,
for putting it that way. Okay.
That's how it was.
Nice description.
Thank
Okay.
you.
You're welcome.
And they do their seafoods different. Like they was talking to me how we do seafood up here when we steam it and we throw the Old Bay on top. they look at us like, y'all wasting seasoning.
Okay.
They like, it needs to sit in the water with, you know. They like, I tried it that way when I came up north, and I was thinking it was crazy. I'm like, that's how we eat it up here. I'm sorry, but they did was banging.
It was cool. Like I said, the people out there they're dope and really nice. So shout out to them.
Shout out to Nola. Y'all have a very great community.
Yeah, a lot of people realize. Like, they were like, where are you from? And then I tell them from New York. I can tell with that accent. I can tell with your accent you're from here.
Yeah.
But
it was all
cool.
the Lyft drivers I had, all the Uber drivers I had, they were all
super
cool.
Nice, yeah.
They were all cool, man. They had conversations. They left you alone. They didn't mind, but...
Yeah. But it was like... And it was nice to drive around and there literally was no traffic. If there was traffic, it was very minimum.
Right.
Actually, there's a pro and con to that because there wasn't any traffic, but you have to drive everywhere out there.
Yeah, you do.
You know how here it's something that's a couple of minutes away you can walk or whatever. Now there you literally have to drive
your own.
You have to have wheels because everything is not in walking distance.
The things that are in walking distance are far from each other that you want to go to. Like I was walking around downtown Nola.
Yeah.
Shout out to Smooth Diz. I went to his event too on Sunday before Wrestlemania.
Yeah.
And walking from him to the Superdome, to the dome, it's like a 15-minute walk. I'm sitting here oh my God.
Everything was like a 15. I was like, my gosh, sheesh.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, regardless, I would love to go back to NOLA just in general, just to experience
Maybe
the
we'll
city.
put that on
again.
our list of things to do and fight at.
Okay. It's something to do.
Right, something to do and fight at.
So.
But let's jump into NXT TakeOver.
Okay, so that was the first event, right?
That was the first event on Saturday.
Yes, sir.
They started off with the ladder match.
Yeah.
Oh my God, how great was that ladder match?
It's crazy. The first match, a ladder match, and it delivered.
Right.
Oh, man.
And when I first heard that the ladder match was going to start off, I'm like, yo, what? So they're not going to let, that'll be the tag team, so Adam Cole have time to rest, and it's less likely for him to get hurt, whatever. They planned that all ahead of time. We'll get to that part.
That's why they
do what they do.
That's it.
But that Ricochet.
You already know how I feel about Ricochet.
Ricochet.
And stupid me now that I think about it, even though I like my pick with Andrade.
Yeah.
I'm a huge Ricochet fan, and he delivered. He delivered.
Speaking of picks, before we continue the NXT TakeOver, we have a little update on the fantasy draft.
We're going to get into that right now.
Yeah, let's get out.
We were talking about NXT.
I know, but we should kick off the show.
No, but we were
let's
talking
just
about
give
NXT.
them the points.
We don't have to give it to them right now.
Why you don't want to talk about the points?
All right, so with that said, the updated points are right now.
How's the Queen Court doing?
The Queen Court right now is doing not that well, but we made strides. Like I said, it's not a. Really,
you're stalling.
Okay, so right now we have 414.5 points. So let's say 415.
That's dope.
Yeah, it is. The Blue Magic Club have 702.5 points.
So we can say 703.
We can say 702.5.
Oh, we can round up on yours.
Anyway,
we can round up on mine.
Yeah. But we'll get in a little bit more into that in the point system. But I was definitely shocked that I didn't. But like I said, we have.
So do you want to handle the rest of this fancy draft now, or do you want to wait to the end of the show? Just want.
I mean, it can intertwine into the conversation because a lot of it has to do with discussing the match and stuff.
Cool.
You don't have to sit there and be hype and brag about it.
All right. Cool.
But yeah, going back to what I said, I like Andrade as my pick. However, but
Ricochet just killed that.
He killed it. I really am a big fan of him. I'm mad I missed him at Access. Apparently, he was at
he
did
on
Sunday.
I think Sunday. Yeah,
I was broke and tired, so I was like, I can't do it. But
also, you got to give a shout out to Velveteen Dream. Oh
Velveteen,
my God,
he is awesome. Everyone in that match killed it.
Everybody from Killian Dane and Lars Sullivan. Yeah. I'll tell you that right now. You got a new fan in me because I was cool with you guys being part of Sanity and Lars. You doing what you do, but watching y'all in that match, man,
as single competitors,
and keep up with all those young, not young, but those high flying people.
Exactly.
You kept up and created your own destruction.
Because everyone was like, why are they in the match? That's not their style. But they did what they had to do. And I almost missed that.
Wow.
You remember, right?
Yeah,
And
you
I
hit me. You hit me. I'm on a seat. I'm sitting there. I'm saying like,
chilling.
what are you talking? She calling me. I'm saying like, yeah, I can't really hear you. Like I'm already inside. You know, bells are ringing.
Yeah. So me and my friends actually wound up making it inside after a little dilemma, but. Yeah, it was a really good match.
Yeah.
So.
Any moments that stood out to you the most from that match?
There was a couple of them. I know there was one where Ricochet. There was a
when they tilted their ladder. And
he backflipped.
Oh my god!
And then there was another one that I can't remember off the top of my head that really stood out. But just in general,
my favorite moment was Adam Cole's super kick party.
There you go.
That super kick party and then catching Ricochet off. And
there you go. Exactly.
And he slipped up and did the gun. I was like, oh my god, this is getting real. This is getting real. I lost my voice on that first match. The rest of the night, I just struggled to keep up.
That match was super dope, and Adam Cole is phenomenal.
He's the next Shawn Michaels.
You know, and I that's always been my impression. One, he has the super kick, so
right.
There you go. And he has that look.
He has that look and ability.
He looks just like Shawn Michaels to me. So that's not a stretch to say that.
And people say,
I need you to get rid of this mask, by the way.
That's yours. I'm serious. I have mine. That's yours. You put it in your bag or something. Don't show her appreciate the gift. See, next time I'm not buying her anything, and she'll get mad. Anyway,
you could have bought something better. Okay, you know what? Don't interrupt our flow. Keep going.
You know when I brought it up. Anyway. But yeah, like Adam Cole, I heard a lot of people say, I'm not a fan of Adam Cole. This is the same thing you used to say about Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
And then look, Shawn Michaels is the Michael Jordan of wrestling. And that's from Ric Flair, and that's from all the legends. They're calling Shawn. He is the guy.
He is the man.
So this is a bright future. Yeah. That's a bright future for Adam Cole.
Yeah. So that was the ladder match.
And then we had the Shayna Baszler versus Ember Moon.
And what did you think about that?
I love that match.
It was a good match.
I like that match.
I knew what was going to happen already. I think we all did just because we knew Ember was going to get called up.
Right.
But I was just like, don't tap. Don't tap. But she tapped.
She didn't even tap. She passed out.
That's what it was, yes.
She passed out.
Yeah. So, it made her still strong. So,
yeah, it still made her strong. And I seen a couple of smarks complaining about the match is boring. It had great ring psychology, in my opinion. Yeah, it doesn't have to always be high flying and high spots. Yeah. It was a nice ground and pound match.
Yeah, but you're always going to get smarks when it comes to women.
Like the psychology of Shayna Baszler when she had to pop her shoulder back in place and she used
it. And I was like, what is. I remember people saying, is this real? Like, what happened?
And she's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just those moments and seeing Amber, like, really trying to pull her arm away as she had the joint locked in. And when she tried to lock it the first time, her arm was. It was just like great ring psychology all around.
I'm still not necessarily here for our new current NXT Women's Champion, but. She showed improvement.
She showed
improvement. She showed improvement. It was storytelling, like you said, with the whole popping the shoulder back in place. And like I said, I was like, in the noises you hear, you
hit her hitting the post, like trying to get it back. Like, and when it popped back in, you could hear her scream like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
so that was
seeing her in the Women's Mae Young's Classic and seeing her now, you just see the growth. Yeah. Like in Mae Young, I'm like, who is this girl? She's not selling.
And that's what you want to see at the end of the day. You can't expect every superstar that walks in and debuts to be, this Hall of Famer on point. Yeah. And it's about showing growth, and she has shown growth. So that was a good pick by you.
Thank you.
Ember, she was phenomenal too, and I'm really excited for her to be on the main roster. I don't know why I didn't pick her either. Okay, whatever.
Then next we had the tag team match.
Yes.
And
I told you this when we spoke. What was it, Monday in Nola? Mm-hmm. When we had our little powwow. You missed out on picking Undisputed, and because that was your team.
So what you say that? Let's go back to the draft.
Yes, sir.
I know we're gonna jump. We jumping a little bit here, guys. It's okay. So AOP got called up.
Okay.
So I get to pick a new team.
Okay.
In NXT.
Oh, you're gonna pick it right now?
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do the Undisputed Era as my pick for NXT.
Really?
Yeah, and I'm dropping the bar.
You're corny. Get out of here. All right.
So we'll fix that later.
Fix it later.
But I just wanted to make that announcement since she brought up that I missed it last time. You didn't know I didn't pick them. Now I'm picking Undisputed Era.
Do you like my jersey, by the way?
Yeah, your jersey's fire. I ain't
It's
gonna lie.
customized. It
I
says,
see it.
What
You
does it say?
want to show it to him? You want to show it to him?
I don't know if you can.
Move your hair so you can see it.
It's,
Well, I'll take a picture and send it to
It's
you.
all cool.
All right.
But it says Miss Jenna Baby, which is my @name.
I was about to say, where did you get that from?
It's my @name on Instagram and Twitter.
Mm.
Miss Jenna Baby, BAY.
There you go.
BEE. See, because you're not a good partner.
I was gonna
plugged
say-
you. No.
You
No.
interrupted me.
No.
I let you set up the alley-oops. You won't let me set up the alley-oops. I'm like,
But it took you long enough. It took you long
you
enough.
just said, hey, look at the back of my name jersey. And I was going to say, hey, where did you get the name from? But you went and continued your conversation by yourself.
The boss has to lead the way all the time.
Anyway, back into this tag team situation. And the reason why I picked Undisputed is because, one, they're free birding it, just like the New Day does. And then, two, as the match, it was a great match. They took out Adam Cole, which made sense because he had a brutal ladder match.
He was very limited in that match. Yeah.
So, having Fish go by himself, not Fish, O'Reilly go by himself, and him just having great moments in that ring in general. And with him and Pete Dunne not doing, how they usually do chops, clotheslines. They went fist to fist in the middle of the ring, and you just see them kept going. And it was just awesome. And then towards the end, Roderick Strong.
And remember we had we had this conversation because I felt like with Roderick Strong, it was like, what was his direction?
Right. I was never a fan of Roderick Strong. I felt like he always was like teeter-tottering.
Flip-flopping, yeah.
And it was just like, you should have joined them in the first place when they first offered to you.
Yeah.
So when that happened in the stands, we sitting there watching it, I immediately said, you can check my Twitter. I was like, yep. Sorry about all the things I said about Roderick Strong. This is the best.
Now, get out of here.
This is the best decision that you could have made ever in your life.
You don't want your opinion. You don't want your co-signing. Get out of here. But no, it was cool. Everyone,
That turn came out of nowhere. Nobody saw that turn.
But then, you know what? That was good that we didn't really know what was going on with him.
Right.
And because even then, we talked about the pairing of him and Peter Dunne. It was like...
It was weird.
Pete Dunne. It was just like... Okay, are they really gonna go far with this tag team?
And it was about to win the title. Like the titles was in their hands.
Yeah.
He picked up Pete Dunne and finished him, and put O'Reilly on top.
Yeah, so that was super dope.
And they all four of them took that picture with the trophy. That was like a dope moment.
That was a really good moment. I am very indecisive now. What was my favorite moment of Takeover? But
I can't pick one.
You have
that's one of the moments.
You have the ladder match, and then we'll continue on with the card. But it was super cool.
That was a great match. A great spin to throw everybody off.
Yeah.
And then after that we had, was it straight into the Andrade and Black?
Yeah, we didn't have any other card.
That was 5 matches on that card. There's 5 matches on that card. It was. Yeah, so
that's the third. Yeah, so then we had Andrade and Alistair.
Time out. Don't you notice that with NXT they have 2 hours, 5 matches, but it seems so short. Like you just want more and more and more.
Yeah,
like
it's a constant.
It's mind blowing to me.
Yeah, it's a constant testament of how well Takeover and just NXT how it's handled.
Right.
Time and time again they deliver. I don't know when's the last time there has been a bad Takeover.
Right.
I mean, NXT, throughout the week you have its moments where it's like, but that has a lot to do with it. You have call-ups and different people coming to NXT that they have to get acclimated and what have you.
Right.
But when Takeover comes, you're gonna get a show. I haven't seen a bad Takeover, not that I can think of.
Yeah, I haven't either. And it's always, after every Takeover, you always wonder, was this the best Takeover ever?
Yeah.
And it keeps building and building. Yeah. But let's move on to Aleister Black and the CN. They had a great match as well.
Yeah.
Zelina got involved, and she had her great moments, like her Karanas and those false finishes.
Yeah.
And Almas, man, he's money.
Yeah.
He's money.
Yeah.
Aleister Black is money.
It was good connection between everyone in the match, and it was nice to see because Aleister is this like sinister type of character, and the raw emotion he showed after winning was super cool. And it's funny because Andrade is part of my stable, but
right.
I was at NXT in an Aleister Black shirt. I wasn't gonna be mad if either or one because I obviously like both guys
Right.
and Zelina, but yeah.
And the funny thing is, I was the opposite. I was cheering for Cien, like, come on, Cien.
Were
you
you
can pull
really?
it off.
I didn't get that impression.
I was like, yo, come on, Cien.
Really?
I was. I would like.
I
I
thought
said,
you was Alistair.
I like them both.
Yeah.
But it's just that Cien is like his back history and him from being from Mexico and creating Los Globos. I know I'm saying it wrong, but you know, that's dumb. Like it's just like I always cheer for Cien no matter what.
Yeah.
Like it's just enemy.
And we can get maybe on it either now or in another episode, but he can definitely be that Mexican wrestler that the WWE.
That's what they're trying to get to. Well,
and he has that ability, but that's for another time.
Right.
But it was a really good match. At one point, I was very sure that Alistair was going to win just because I think the impression is that they're going to get called up.
Right.
But again, I didn't.
You never know.
He didn't
You
know.
You never know.
But with that said, Alistair didn't win. And like I said, it was super cool to see that emotion. He smiled.
Yeah,
when is he smiling?
Everybody was like, wait, what? You just smiled?
He has emotion. So that was super cool to see. I love, again, when, you know, a hit of reality kind of plays through. You know, they get away from character real quick. So that was cool to see. And it was a really good match. I was shocked that not that I was shocked that it wasn't the main event, but it could have been, you know. But then I realized, that shouldn't have been the main event match.
Because the next match that happened was Johnny Wrestling versus Tommaso Ciampa, a.k.a. Psycho Killer.
Yes.
And that match was so personal. And the heat that
was
Ciampa got just walking out.
No music. It was, like you said, it was personal, and the storytelling, and at the end, how he had to win with how they used the crutch,
the crutches and his knee brace just made it even more personal.
I tell you, I love storytelling. I don't know how many times that I tell you or I tell people. Storytelling is such a big thing when it comes to shows, to matches.
Like, even the small things, like having a ref wearing all black, because this is unsanctioned.
Exactly.
And you know what I'm saying? Like, let them go anywhere. And you see the ref just like, can y'all just please just stop a little bit?
Yes.
And, like, it was just all, and like, again, going back to his entrance and just hearing the boos and the chants. And
that's a major heat.
That's major. And I believe that's what Dolph was trying to get when he tried to do the music thing. Yeah. But Ciampa, I don't want him to ever have music ever. Just let him come out.
And you know what's funny too, because we living in a day and age where now heels are cheered and faces are booed. This was a situation where, like, back in the day, a face was cheered and a heel is booed.
I was surprised things wasn't thrown at him. Like, I was very, like, people were really, really, like,
upset
that he came out and, like, him just standing there.
Yeah.
It's just great storytelling there.
Yeah, it just was a really good match. And then Johnny overcame.
Yeah, and he's reinstated.
Yep, and which obviously we knew that was going to happen.
I didn't know. I thought he was going to go over to 205. I thought he was going to go with it and just put him in 205, or even put him on the main roster. I thought it was going to be a call-up situation.
I don't think he's ready for that just yet.
You never know. Because Johnny Wrestling's pretty over. Like, he's like,
he is over, but I feel like there's
after Daniel Bryan and AJ. It's him.
True, but I think there's a title run for him soon in NXT. So that's why I don't think he's, not that he's not ready for the main roster, but I think there's still more for him that he can possibly do.
Right. Well, we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
Before we leave out of NXT, I just want to point out, I know you didn't get a chance to see it because you came straight off the plane. Just seeing Morrow reaction to everything. There's a video that WWE posted up on Twitter.
Yeah.
And it's just a camera sitting there watching Morrow's expressions during the match where he's calling it. Yeah. And he's calling it with passion. When I'm telling you, he's calling it like jumping out his seat, falling back, grabbing his head. He's all in on that.
He's a breath of fresh air. Again, and I know people probably hear like, we know already. You watch wrestling from back in the day, but he reminds me. He's just very old school.
Right.
And I think the commentators now try to get that passion, but it's very authentic with him.
Yeah.
So yeah, that I like I said, I didn't get to hear it or actually go back and watch Takeover, but it doesn't surprise me that it was a lot of raw emotion and passion there. No, he's dope. He's dope.
Yeah, shout out to Morrow. Let's jump over right quick into WrestleMania because we got a lot to cover and we don't have a lot of time. Well,
we're gonna make some time.
We're gonna make sure this happens for you guys as much as we can.
Yes, sir.
So let's go ahead and run through this. If we're going pretty fast with you guys, Sorry, you've seen it with us, so just understand.
Yeah.
Battle Royal.
It's not really much to talk about with at least the men's battle royal.
I like the pairing of Bray Wyatt
Me
and
too.
Matt Hardy. He came out and helped.
I do too.
It's gonna make a lot of sense of the
Yes.
Brooklyn universe because
Yes.
everything is
Yes.
wonderful.
So that was a very good pairing. I enjoyed that. I'm
Okay.
on board for that. Next up we had
The women's,
the Cruiserweight Championship.
the Cruiserweight Championship,
Your boy Cedric won.
and my boy Mustafa lost.
Yeah.
But they had a great match as well.
I was rooting for Mustafa. I like I said, I
I
was
kind of was too.
Yeah, I was with Cedric for a while, and I still like him, and I was still root for him. But he came out pretty dope with his attire and
Like,
everything.
I don't know if you had a chance to look at it because I told you to look at it again on
Yeah.
Monday when he points to
I
the
saw
camera.
that, check that.
Yeah,
check
it's
that.
like a little swirl coming
Yeah.
at the camera. That thing is dope.
Yeah.
But yeah, they had a great outing as well. The crowd was definitely into it. This pre-show did not feel like a pre-show. It just felt like a warm-up.
It was just part of it.
Yeah, it was part of WrestleMania
Yeah.
warm-up. It was
Yeah.
like, yo, we got WrestleMania with the commercials in between.
Yeah.
That's all it was.
That's really what it was.
And those they put it all out there.
Which is, I don't think is. Yeah, I know you got to pay the bills, right?
Yeah.
But a lot of people that are home miss out on what actually goes down
Yeah,
at the actual show. So, but it was a good match.
it was.
It was good.
A great match.
You know, we needed something, especially when on a kickoff show. You always need at least some type of entertainment, just
Yeah.
because it's the pre-show. You don't want people to
And
not
you can't hear the commentators talk about what's about to come on.
exactly. So you want some type of excitement, you want people in their seats. Just because it's a pre-show, you just want people in
Right.
their seats. So that was a good thing. So, but yeah, Cedric won. He's now the new Cruiserweight champion. So that's some
Shout out
points
to
for
him.
you. And yeah, shout out to them. They did a really good job. Next up, we had the women's battle royal.
Yep. You want to go ahead?
I mean, you know how I feel. But it was cool to see the NXT call-ups.
Yeah, it did.
Not call-ups, but, appearances.
And they
crowd
and
chanting.
having them team up against everybody else. That was the
Yes.
very smartest thing they could have done
Yeah.
because it didn't make no sense for them to go against each other. And
Yeah.
they're like, yo, we're NXT. We gotta try to steal the moment.
And
that
I think that's the formula going forward. Just when the first NXT call-ups happened with Becky, Charlotte, Sasha, and they teamed up against the divas at the time.
Right.
So it makes sense that the new generation will go against the older generation.
Right.
So that was cool. It was a quick match. It was nothing that stood out, but obviously the main story in that match was Sasha and Bayley. Again, you know how I feel. I know our viewers know. All right, we know you're a Sasha fan.
Yeah, right.
I'm not gonna lie. As a fan, I was very excited to see Naomi put Bayley over the top rope just because I didn't want Bayley to win.
Right.
I wanted Sasha to have her moment.
But it also showed the moment that Bayley tried to be a heel for a second,
And
she
it didn't work. It didn't
she
work
tried
for
to be
her.
the smarter one, and it didn't work.
for it. But you notice, and it's funny how the WWE tries to stick with something but meanwhile the crowd tells you what we want. You saw
Yeah.
how everyone was like, yes,
Yeah, it's
yes.
them too.
When
they
Sasha
played
and
it. I mean,
Bayley.
WWE sees that and they played it.
Do they see that?
Yeah, they do because that's why they make those teasing moments.
Yeah, but we'll get a little bit more into depth for that for when we talk about Raw because I don't see it that way and I'm kind of losing hope on this particular match.
Nah,
But
yeah, we'll get when we get to Raw part. We'll talk.
We'll
about
talk
it.
a little bit more about that. But Naomi won, and that was a good. She's the second year in a row she's had a WrestleMania moment.
Yes,
and
I'm not mad at it.
I'm not mad at it. Naomi is another one of my favorite superstars, so I was happy for her to get her shine. And at the end of the day, as a woman of color that's in wrestling,
Right.
it's pretty dope to see. So good, shout out to Naomi for being the first ever.
You know what's funny? You know what I realized? I'm not sure if it's a real stat or not.
That they're saying that she may retire?
No.
Okay. Yeah, but you've heard about that, right?
No, I didn't even heard about
A
that.
lot of people have been talking about she wants to
She's-
retire. But I'm
she's
like,
not retired,
where
for
do you
sure.
get that from?
Nah.
Yeah.
What I'm saying
All right,
is,
don't cut me off. Don't shoot like the messenger.
I'm not you. I'm talking about them. Like they're always making up stuff.
No, because you cut me off.
Whatever. But with Cedric Alexander,
Yeah.
he is the first African American to win a title at WrestleMania.
Wow, shout out to Cedric.
The Rock never won at WrestleMania. He always had it going into WrestleMania.
Why do you have to bring that up?
No, I'm saying because some
Well,
people.
why do you have to bring it up?
Because people are gonna be like.
Well, why do you? I'm kidding. I'm messing with you.
Because people are gonna bring up and say, The Rock had the title, but he didn't win it at WrestleMania.
Yeah, he always
He always
lost
bought
it.
He always lost it or bought it in.
Yeah.
So Cedric was they said he's the first male
Yeah.
to win it.
Well, shout out to
So-
Cedric. That's an amazing feat. I think again, as both of us being people of color,
Right.
that's that's something.
That's pretty dope. It's great
dope.
movement.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that was the pre-show for WrestleMania.
How you feel about the tag team division right now?
Are we gonna jump into that?
Yes.
I remember the past couple of weeks we've been trying to figure out who was gonna be Braun's partner. And I told you I didn't want to see him going in as the tag team champion. I just think that's stupid.
Right.
It tarnishes what the tag team division is about.
Right.
And then they pull this stunt with this ref's kid as his tag team partner. And I'm just like, yeah, it's funny for a second, but it's like, really?
And then they dropped the title the very next night.
Like, come on, you could have really had
You could have had.
I was very disappointed in that.
I felt like they could have went that way, so many different ways. They could have some more Joe come in. And,
and
tag
I thought
team.
Elias, it was just a
Somebody
lot of people you could have used.
Like, if you did Samoa Joe, they could have Samoa Joe tag with Braun and cost Braun the match.
Yeah, there could have been so many routes
create
to go.
their own path and then set something else up for the bar. But
I thought that was I wasn't a fan of that, and people laughed. It was like, for me, it was like, huh.
It was a cool moment. Like, oh my God, he did that.
Was it a cool? I don't even really think it was a cool moment.
No, it was a cool moment. Like, him doing all that, but not with the tag team titles. If it was just like a regular tag team match and you would have pulled that off, I'm like, oh, that's funny, ha ha ha. Even when the kid tagged in, he changed his mind and tagged back out. Yeah. It's a feel good moment, but not with the tag team titles. You're playing around with history now, like.
And that's what I'm saying. I'm like a person about history. We're gonna look back years from now and just be like,
yo, Nicholas was a tag team champion. Who's Nicholas? Nobody knows.
No one knows. But yeah, besides
funny
that,
moment. Nicholas and King Maxwell had a stare down. And catering.
Did they really?
Yes, because I guess Nicholas walked up to King Maxwell and he waved, and King just looked at him like, "Who are you?" And they put it up on the internet. That was pretty funny.
But that's the Raw tag team titles. Then we have SmackDown.
Oh my God! Nobody saw the Bludgeon Brothers winning the tag team titles. I'll say that right now.
I did. Because
you did?
Yeah, even though I chose the Usos, I chose the Usos just because I'm a fan, not necessarily strategically.
Right.
I just chose them because I'm a huge fan of them. I thought of it this way. The Usos had the titles for a while.
Right.
1, 2, New Day and Usos have been going back and forth for this title for a while.
Right.
They've been building up the Bludgeon Brothers for, weeks now?
Yeah.
I saw them winning. I really did. The only reason, and I think another reason why maybe I didn't select them is just because I don't think they're going to be long term.
Yeah.
So that's why I didn't pick them. I didn't want to get just the easy points at WrestleMania, but I was disappointed just for the fact that this is the first time the Usos are in the main card, and you give these guys, not the fact that they lost, you give them only like 10 minutes. It wasn't a good match. It wasn't it was
a forgettable match,
yeah.
And even people in my section they was like they did not expect it to happen. But that's the state of the tag team division. Hopefully when they do this shake up next week, they could shift it around a little bit more.
Yeah.
And also, I don't know if you guys heard, Charlotte versus Asuka.
Okay.
They had their match as well. And it was streak versus title.
Yeah.
And
you gonna start it off? Your opinion on this?
All right. So basically, Asuka lost.
Yeah.
And her streak was gone.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
In my opinion, Charlotte didn't really need to eat that 500 days, close to 500 days streak. She didn't need to eat that. I feel like that could have been used for somebody else on the come up to make them more of a threat. Mm-hmm. Charlotte has been champion countless times. She's had her WrestleMania moment before. To have her make Asuka tap out. Asuka never tapped out. Asuka never lost. And for you to make her tap out on the 1 figure 8, it was like, what was the suspense? Where's the climax and drop? Yeah. Like, it was just like tap out. What?
Yeah.
And that just didn't make no sense to me.
Yeah. I like Charlotte and I like Asuka. It was a really I don't want.
It was a good match.
I don't want to get.
It was a very good match.
Like the misconception, it was a really really good match. It might even be contender of match of the night.
Right.
But I feel the same way. I think we give Roman Reigns slack, right? And we used to give John Cena slack because they were the chosen ones. The WWE pushed behind them, and this is who we're going to push to be the face of the company.
Right.
And hasn't been mentioned, but that's what they're doing with Charlotte.
Exactly.
And I specifically said this on my Twitter after Charlotte won. I said, it must be nice to have the last name Flair. Because if, for example, if Charlotte's last name is Charlotte Lynch,
right,
is she a Grand Slam champion?
right.
Is she defeating Asuka?
Winning streak and
defeating her winning streak? No. A lot, and again, I don't want people to think, oh, you're hating. No, Charlotte's a fantastic wrestler, and if not one of the best women's wrestlers we ever seen.
Right.
But
it's too much too soon.
It's too much too soon. There's other women that are clearly capable of that position. Everyone knows who I feel in regards to that, but that's...
And I'll add on Becky Lynch, because Becky Lynch, the way they're booking her now, I'm not very happy about. Becky Lynch could have been a bomb heel. Yeah. She could have been controlling the division.
She did a good job
SmackDown.
when NXT, when her and Sasha were part of... it was Team Bay. But, and the thing is, again, Charlotte puts on really good matches. She's a great wrestler, but how many feuds and matches has Charlotte had? And
she came out on top.
Not even that. No. Not that she's came out on top, but that she's put on a show with another competitor. If it hasn't been Sasha
or Becky,
not even Becky. I don't even really. Becky and now Asuka.
Those three will give you a match.
Yeah, they're gonna give you those, but now it's the ability of how can she help
put somebody else
exactly, and that's for me, Charlotte has not shown that.
Right.
But again, when your last name is Flair, and again, we boo Roman. Well, not we, but people boo Roman.
I boo Roman.
You boo Roman.
Yes, I do.
People boo John Cena.
I do.
And for this reason, but we don't do it for Charlotte. And I just think this is a double standard, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I feel you on that.
But shout out to Charlotte. It was
no
a bittersweet.
Knock on her. It's knock. It's not your fault. You're a great wrestler. I mean, I enjoy watching you wrestle. It's just that sometimes it's too much.
It is too much.
Sometimes it's too much, and then it hinders. I had a conversation this weekend about that. Her being on SmackDown roster hindered the women's division, because before she got there, it was flourishing, and then the moment she got there, she won the title. It was all right.
Tag team match.
Tag team matches.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Nobody really to contend, because you wanted to put her she's untouchable. Yeah. So now you have nobody to contend, because when Naomi was champion, anybody could come at her, and she defended it, and she lost when the title wasn't on the line, and she won when the title was on the line.
Even when Becky had it. Yeah. Even when Alexa
had it. You know what I'm saying? It was flourishing. People was coming in and out the door.
Yep.
Since Charlotte had the title, she only had, I could think of Ruby Riot's feud, and then that was it.
And even with that said, it's not. She's not putting 4 or 5-star matches on. It's good matches, really good matches, but again, I have not really seen Charlotte elevate her competitor.
Right. Yeah.
Whereas someone like, let's say, Sasha Banks, fights with whoever,
right?
Whether it's Brie Bella, whether it's Paige, whether it's Asuka, Bayley, Becky, Charlotte.
Right.
She's even with Mandy Rose and this girl, Sonya Deville.
Right.
She elevates her partner. I don't see that with Charlotte. Again, I'm not knocking Charlotte. I'm a fan of Charlotte. I like her a lot. She's, if not the best, but there's something that I think it's unfortunate that once the WWE gets behind someone.
Yeah, that's who they're gonna keep.
They don't let it, and it's not organic anymore.
It's not.
And
sometimes that's what gets lost.
And I think,
sauce.
and I think a lot of fans are behind Charlotte, because, like you told me, her father's Ric Flair. Ric Flair is beloved.
Yeah.
So
he's like the godfather of wrestling.
So if that's his seed, they're gonna root for that.
Right.
So, but her whole image is her father.
Yeah.
There's nothing that separates Charlotte from Ric Flair.
Right.
She had the last name, the robe, the music, her finishers. It's essentially Ric Flair. But that's just me. I'm not a hater. Don't come at me.
Of course, if you want to get at her, you hit up on Instagram and on Twitter.
Is that when you want to? That's when you want to plug in my
at Miss Jenna Baby.
Get it tagged and whatnot.
Or you can hit us up at the Mixed Tag Show. We both run that, so we can respond and everything like that. You can hit me up at Blue Magic Line and keep it moving.
Yeah, you bet. Yeah, Plug yours in.
Just in case you want to talk. But speaking of running, we seen Cena run up the ramp at WrestleMania when he got a call from the ref.
After, it's kind of low key stole Charlotte's moment.
Right.
Low key.
Right. And it was just like he ran, up the ramp, and then he came back out later on, and then we heard JoJo make the announcement, and facing, and then it's supposed to be Undertaker, and then Elias come out. Was it Elias?
Yeah.
It was Elias that came out, and then he got washed, and then Cena gets mad, and then he's halfway up the ramp, sees Undertaker. Him and Undertaker have a 3-minute match. How do you feel about that?
I really don't have an opinion. A lot of people were disappointed in it. I really don't have an opinion. What I felt was Undertaker looks really, really good.
He did.
Maybe it was just because it was 3 minutes and there had been more time. He would have showed, but he looked really, really good. The surgery did wonders, and just the working out and everything, and just it did wonders for him. He looked really, really good.
This is the first WrestleMania in a while that he came in not hurt.
Yeah.
So
they did wonders for him.
It's a setup. Everybody knows the setup for next year.
But besides that, I think with Undertaker, we said what we had to say in regards to this match, but it's still that aura. It's that aura that he shows up at WrestleMania. The music hits.
Lights go out.
Lights goes out. It's still that.
Fog start happening.
Yeah, and I think, but a lot of people were just like, okay, last year you retired, you left your hat and whatever, and now, but you still come back as the same Undertaker. A lot of people were assuming he was going to come in
American
badass, especially with Kid Rock being inducted into the Hall of Fame. Like I said, I didn't really have an opinion for it. It is what it is. It was a squash match.
It's
crazy on John Cena, but
it's a setup for next year.
Yeah.
So maybe he does want to retire in New Jersey. I don't know.
In New York, yes.
In New Jersey, New York.
Anyway, New York. Anyway, but yeah, so that was that match. We've
seen the two best friends go at each other, Nia Jax and Alexa Bliss.
What did you think of that?
It was a great start. How Nia came out and just destroyed Mickey, take out that component.
Yeah.
I didn't like the fact that she didn't destroy Alexa like she should have.
I thought that match was a joke. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I didn't. It wasn't really a good match for me. I'm happy for Nia's win. Like I said, I think Alexa needed to drop the belt. It's her title reign has been really very, very mediocre at best.
Forgettable.
And it was nice to see Nia have her moment.
Right.
You've heard critics for the past, I don't know how long she's been on the main roster. She's green, she's this, she's that. So to see that they finally trusted her to win the title, we'll see what she does with it.
Yeah, again, I just wish that she just came in destroyed and left out. Like the way they gave Alexa a lot of leeway. Don't get me wrong, I love Alexa as a person, but Nia being that mad and her size difference, come on. Like Nia should just came in, and that should have just been another squash match.
And then the
Samoa drop off the top rope,
that was dope.
That's what I'm saying. They just added all that to that angle. Like she did a regular one, thought about it. She was gonna pick her up. Like never mind, I want to do another one off the top rope. It would have been a perfect finish. But I'm just here in the podcast. I'm not a writer.
You don't know anything.
I don't know anything. I'm not a writer. We also had the U.S. title.
It's a pretty basic match. Only with that said, I was here for gender winning because it's heat. You have this anti-American that wins the U.S. Title. I like it.
Yeah, don't hinder the gender. I was cool with gender. I'd have been fine with Rusev.
Or Rusev, but the thing is, he's a face, so does it? So
he's turning and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
So that was a pretty good. It was an okay match. Also,
what was up with Aiden English though? Did you notice with the haircut?
Yeah, he did a haircut after his battle royal. He cut his beard a bit, and he's rapping now.
Yeah,
he got bars.
What was that was different, but why? Like,
I don't know. I guess he didn't have time to go to the barbershop before the battle.
But what makes you decide like, yo, I gotta cut my hair now before I come out? I gotta look good. Right.
I got a haircut. But yeah, that was a great moment. Yeah. Also, we had Daniel Bryan come back in New Orleans.
That match
tag in with Shane versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn for their career.
Wasn't there was a lot of hype for that match. It wasn't what I thought it could have and would have been. But
well, yeah,
it was nice to see Daniel Bryan. It's always nice to see that, like,
Right.
all those fans pop and
do the yes, movement.
yeah.
The whole intro video before he came out, I was like, that's pretty dope. I like
was
that.
cool.
It was cool, but again, I guess with Shane still kind of hurt. They didn't want to do too much. Even though he did still do the coast to coast, I'm saying, like, bro, you're hurt. Why you still putting your body?
That's his
He's a McMahon.
move.
He's a McMahon.
He's a McMahon. That's his move. You at this point you have to expect it. We have the first match we didn't talk about was Miz versus what's this guy's name? Seth and Finn. What did you think of that?
First of all, Finn had an amazing intro. I like his intro. I like what they're doing with the whole LGBT community and doing the donating the money they make from the T-shirt.
Shout out to Finn for even
for being down with this.
Yeah, because a lot of people obviously have their opinions.
Yeah, I'm hearing, is he gay? Is he bi? Why does it matter? Dude want to support the community. He support the community. What does that got to do with you?
He's a popular guy, and
right.
and it's crazy because. Not that it's crazy, but you just saw a lot of people with that shirt on for the week.
Yeah,
and
you
it's
did.
pretty dope that they're doing that.
And you saw some that wore it with their girlfriends or boyfriends with them, just to support the cause.
Yeah.
You never know what a personal meaning means to somebody.
And it is dope. So with that said, that was cool. I will say though, and me and my friends thought this too. When he was coming out last, we thought it was going to be the Demon King. When he came out last.
They would have promoted that. They're gonna make money off that Demon King. You know that.
Yeah, but that was the impression when he came out last. We didn't think that was what they were going to do. But it was cool. It was a really
Seth
good match.
get his Grand Slam championship was pretty nice.
All the Shield members.
That was I like to look. I'm gonna call it the Black Hole because that's what Graves accidentally called it one time, and I like it. Yeah. They don't want to call it the curb stomp, which I understand. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna call it a black hole. Mm-hmm. When he hit the black hole the first time on Finn,
even though that's not what it's called, but okay.
They don't have a name for it. They just call it stomp. It's stupid. Okay. I'm gonna call it the black hole.
I like the curb stomp. Oh.
The curb stomp, but the meaning behind it, they don't want to use it. I understand.
Okay, well, I like it.
It's offensive to a lot of people.
Okay, well, I like it.
Okay, you can like it if you want to.
Thank you.
The black hole when you hit it on Finn on top of Miz and then hitting Miz, I felt like that was a good finish for that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was a really good match. Like I said, well, I didn't say this, but I think it was one of the top matches of the night. So it was a really good match. I enjoyed it. I thought, and the funny thing is, they brought it as the first match of the night. So I thought that was just to be the energy and vibe for the whole night.
Right.
That wasn't the case, but it
kind of went up. Like the vibe of WrestleMania went up and down. It wasn't the best WrestleMania.
I don't even think it went up and down. I just think it was up and then just went down, down.
I mean, no, because the AJ versus Shin, right? I know some people that don't like that match.
I didn't like that match.
Case in point, I just feel like they didn't want to give their all on the very first match. Granted, it's WrestleMania, the biggest stage of them all. You go all out, right? But if you're gonna continue a feud that's gonna have to last or survive a couple of months, you don't want to do everything on that first match because then how you gonna top it as you start to build the feud more and more and more because you gotta take it more personal.
I don't agree with that because that's again back in the day that you can give it your all in the WrestleMania match. Hell, even let's talk about Sasha and Charlotte, right? Every match that they had, they gave it their all, and it was better than the next. You know what I mean? I think that's I don't want to say stupid, but I think that's a
cop out.
A cop out, and that's a weird way of you want to get all that you can, especially on the grandest stage of them all, WrestleMania.
But I also wouldn't be surprised if they was told to tone it down.
But that's again, which is what I'm saying. I
wouldn't be surprised if they told him that.
But like I said, I don't agree with that. I think why tone it down for what exactly? For what?
It happens.
No, I'm saying for what? Why would you tone it down?
You gotta protect your assets sometimes. That's all I'm gonna say.
In what sense, though? You
don't want to outshine everybody on the card.
It was dubbed as the dream match. Why wouldn't you? That should be the goal.
I know. If that was the case,
that wasn't a dream match.
It wasn't. It's gonna get there though. I'll put money on it. I'm not felling on it.
You putting money on it?
Yes, I would. Especially how Nakamura's switching up right now. Yeah. And I don't care. That was a great moment when AJ turned that Kinshasa into AJ Clash. Nobody saw that coming. That whole flip and drop, that was dope.
That was cool. Besides that, I thought that was a pretty unforgettable match.
Unforgettable or forgettable? You messed up, not me. And then we got to the match.
Now when I beat your ass, it's a problem.
I got witnesses.
I don't care if you have witnesses. They're not going to protect you.
Here.
He's
I got it
not
on
going to
camera.
protect you. No one's going to protect you. Playing with me.
Anyway.
It was a forgettable match, okay? Forgettable match, okay?
All right,
Thank
cool.
you. I make mistakes.
All right. Can we talk about the mixed tag match now, please?
No, okay, good.
Ronda Rousey and Kurt Angle versus Triple H and Stephanie McMahon.
I was pleasantly surprised with this match. I think everyone was.
It was better than I expected.
It was a really good match. It was a really
Stephanie played her role perfect to the T.
And Stephanie gets a lot of flack.
Right, but
I don't understand why. Because she's a top heel.
Right.
She plays her role to the T.
Yes.
You know.
The coward heel.
The coward heel. She's great at promos.
Exactly.
She's good at burying people.
Her facial expressions, everything.
But look at the era she grew up in.
Yeah. Plus, her and Triple H's intro was dope as hell.
It's always dope.
It's dope as hell.
This WrestleMania, you're gonna expect a few things. It's gonna be a dope Triple H Stephanie
combo
entrance. So that was dope. Even though that was kind of done. It was done before.
Yeah, but before she was on his bike. This time she had her own bike.
Like a boss.
Like she's like, and they had women bikers leading the way.
Like
and Triple H was just behind. Was like, all right, I'm riding with them.
That's dope.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's dope. So
and they both did the water.
Yo, I was like,
yeah.
Look, I can't even get the words out. I'm like,
yeah.
No, but I'm like, Stephanie. I like Stephanie.
She had the matching jacket and
she
everything.
Was lit.
She was lit. On it.
You know, like I said, I appreciate Triple H over the past few years.
Yeah.
So that was top notch.
And Ronda she did her thing in the ring.
She was believable.
Of course, Kurt Angle and Triple H gonna do what they do. They're one of the best, both of them. So my focus
and their rivalry is one of the best.
Always living.
Yeah.
So just watching Ronda and her way she was moving in the ring, it seemed more fluent.
Yeah.
It seemed more, with purpose, and it was pretty
good.
And
she had a point to prove because a lot of people were doubting, and she did her thing. You know, she was believable. She looked like the baddest woman.
Right.
Right. And it was a good match. And another thing that I mentioned to you was I'm glad that they really made it a mixed tag team match. It wasn't like, okay, I'm Kurt tags and Ronda, so Stephanie comes in. That was the case, but you saw
started off, but then it kind of veered off. And you kind of seen like Triple H. I feel like Triple H really did that during the match.
Yeah.
When he just pulled the ref to the side, like, "Yo, chill in the corner. It's okay. It's okay."
And it was welcome. I think and I get why they
so protective of it, but
because of whatever sponsors and advertising, and all this
and stuff
but.
Like
that was super cool to see. It was a hint of it. It wasn't too much.
It wasn't too much.
I would have loved to see maybe Triple H put Ronda in a pedigree, but and then when Kurt put Stephanie in ankle lock. I thought that was cool.
And
so it was
Triple H was in an arm bar, and they is he gonna get a double tap out right here?
I if he taps out to Ronda. Oh man, but it was super cool. I enjoyed the match. I have no complaints. It was a very good match. Complaints. And the pop that Ronda got, everyone got, top notch.
It was perfect.
It was a good match.
But to the opposite of that, we got Roman versus Brock Lesnar, which was like that show. I mean, the audience did not like it, and they showed they didn't like it. We seen beach balls pop out of nowhere.
See, but I don't think the audience
gave it a chance.
Yeah, I don't think they realized that they weren't gonna like it. I think they had the impression because Roman main evented his 4th WrestleMania we're gonna show them we're not gonna pay attention to this match.
Right.
Because then there was also not rumors or just whatever, people saying that, or a petition I read right before the show started, if he mains event, we're gonna walk out. So there was just a whole lot of commotion, things going on with that.
But then again, like I was talking to the people in the stands and I was sitting with, it was just like same old stuff versus same old stuff. Because all it was Superman punch. No, suplex. No, Superman punch. No, suplex. No, Superman punch. No, suplex. Oh, snap, they threw a punch here. Oh, snap, he hit a knee here.
Yeah, but see,
drive by.
And this is what
suplex.
And this is what I was telling you before. It was like Brock has become extremely limited in his moveset. I wasn't a fan of the finish. I was very, very disappointed to see Brock win. I wanted Roman should have won. To be honest with you.
we can't say we don't know what the big payoff yet is.
But what's the big payoff though? Because Brock still has this title, and case in point, what happened on Monday was Brock there?
No, but he'll be there the next one.
But that's not the point. That tarnishes this title.
Nah, man. Because we had this talk before. Me and you have sat together and watched Throwback Wrestling.
That's
right?
fine. That's fine.
When Hogan won that title after WrestleMania 9,
okay,
you did not see him until SummerSlam. That's 3 months later.
Okay, but but there's a difference from then to now. Brock doesn't care about.
You can't say that.
What do you? He showed. There was a report.
Reports that doesn't mean it's fact.
Okay, so why is it not fact when I bring it up about your boy, but any other time it's valid?
When is it valid? When have I ever said
with that said,
come on.
With that said, there was an altercation between Brock and Vince backstage.
Allegedly.
With that with that said, that was the case. This people hate Roman. Roman's there every night. Roman, is a class act. You have this guy that's not here, and for what? For what? There's no title. For what?
There is a title. He's carrying the title everywhere.
It's stupid.
He brings it every time he comes.
You can hate Roman all you want. Brock needs to go.
He does need to go.
He does.
He's drawing more than Roman.
How is he drawing more than Roman?
Because people still tune in to see either him win or him lose.
And people still tune in for Roman.
Apparently not. If you
How you figure?
Because they was throwing around beach balls.
Because those are
match.
smart. You're smart. Why
are you gonna call me a smart?
Because you're
I was
them.
throwing around beach balls.
You're them though.
No, I wasn't. I was not throwing around no beach balls.
You don't have to throw a beach ball, but you're the main reason why you hate Roman because he was chosen to be the face. That's your
because Vince's guy.
Because if that wasn't the case, all right, Brock is Vince's guy.
Nah.
Oh no, it's not. Get out of here. Stop it.
I mean, according to
corny with the Roman slander.
Well, according to Roman on his promo on Raw, he already felt that it was weird. He did a shoot promo like nobody would have looked him in the eyes. How did you feel about that?
I don't. Again.
How did it come off to you?
It came off to me as I like Roman. At the end of the day, I think he shouldn't get the flack that he gets, and and the thing is, he's the face of the company, but the face of the company has not. When's the last time he had the Universal title or WWE Championship?
It's been a while.
So y'all go in about this and that and the third about Roman, but he has not had the title.
I'll give you that. He hasn't, but he gets another chance at the Great Royal Rumble.
He's not
in a cage match against Brock Lesnar.
He's not winning that.
You losing hope in your guy?
It's not about losing hope because the scenario is apparently Bobby Lashley and this guy is going to go at it at SummerSlam. Those are reports of where it's going.
Before that, we got Samoa Joe who made his return last night as well during Roman's promo, and he says that whoever wins between the two has to see him at Backlash. So, we could get Samoa Joe versus Roman Reigns or Samoa Joe versus Brock Lesnar at Backlash for the Universal title.
This man, Brock Lesnar's not losing it. He's going to
you can't say that because you never know.
Best case scenario, he loses the title at SummerSlam.
You can't say that. The only reason I say that is because sometimes WWE like to throw a curveball, and they might want him to lose the title.
You a company guy now?
I'm just saying. Sometimes it just happens. They probably want him to lose the title in Saudi Arabia.
I don't see
to bring views for next year because you never know what happens.
Maybe.
Just like when AJ won the U.S. title against Owens at Madison Square Garden. Maybe. You never know. They might throw a little curveball.
With that said, I am not for Brock retaining. I think it was stupid. This is a guy that is never there. I'm tired of part-timers getting the shine when you have people who are there day in and day out,
right,
doing their thing. Roman is that the guy that's there day in and day out, takes the heat from fans and still does what he has to do and still puts on good shows. Whether you like it or not, he puts on good matches. His promo skills have gotten better. I don't understand the hate. It's not his fault. He didn't come in and say, yeah, Vince, let me be the guy. No, this is what they saw in him. And again, and it goes back to what I said earlier about Charlotte. We give Roman a hard time. It's not his fault, but with Charlotte,
give it time. You never know.
Give what time?
With Charlotte, give it time. You never know. And with Roman, it's not the person that they're booing. It's the character.
What's wrong with the character, though?
Yeah,
honestly,
like that's a whole discussion for another time. We got too much to cover tonight to get into that. We're gonna do a podcast, right? Where it's just us discussing stuff that we like and don't like, and we could go ahead and debate. Because I know a lot of our listeners want that anyway. He's gonna have this a special joint. Just me and you go at it. Because apparently you got a lot of tension that you want to take out anyway.
Clearly.
Anyway,
you got me heated.
Whatever.
It's hot in here.
So, moving on. Nia Jax went against Alexa Bliss and Mickie James in a tag team match. And we got quite of a surprise when her tag team partner was Ember Moon.
Yes,
got a nice little call-up going on here.
Yes, sir. It was dope. I'm happy for Ember. This is a good look.
And she pinned Alexa.
The women's division picked up on Raw.
Yeah, they did.
It picked up. So
Ember had a great outing. She had a great reaction from the crowd.
I'm excited to see what with the superstar shake up next week.
Is she gonna stay on Raw? She gonna go to SmackDown?
She's probably gonna stay on Raw.
She's probably gonna stay on Raw since she just got there.
Yeah, I don't see her getting, going to SmackDown.
Right.
Because if that was the case, right, she would have debuted.
Yeah.
So.
We never know.
Yeah.
But we also had No Way Jose debut.
No Way Jose.
His debut kind of scared me because it reminded me of Adam Rose.
Yes. I thought the same thing too.
I'm like, no.
And I like No Way Jose, but I feel like they're gonna mess up that character.
Yeah, they are.
I like No Way Jose.
Oh my God! I'm like, No Way Jose, don't do
it. Oh my God!
Oh my God!
Yeah, no.
It had the whole cha-cha line, and I'm like, I'm with you, but I'm afraid for you.
I love his entrance though.
It is. He's a dope character in general.
But ain't gonna ruin that.
And then continuing on with the call-ups, we had a call-up from AOP.
Yes.
AOP came out and destroyed Heath Slater and Rhino.
Yes. They did. That was a good call-up.
That was a good call-up. I was ready for them. And thank you for the call-up points, guys. And sadly, though, as everybody already knew that was going to happen, they got rid of their manager.
Yes.
Paul Erling, he's a Hall of Famer. He doesn't really want to travel much on the road.
And I get that.
I get it.
He's a Hall of Famer. He has that right.
Yeah, he has that right.
But my thing is with that, and at the end of the day, it's his choice, and he has that, I guess, clout, that way he can do that.
Yeah. But
I feel that that's AOP's identity, and I'm interested to see how they move forward without him. But
I could see somebody else stepping into the role.
Like who?
You put me on the spot right now.
You said it.
Yeah, I think about it, but I can see somebody else being put in the role.
So we'll see if someone else gets put in the role.
Jim Cornette, I don't know.
No.
I don't know.
Jim Cornette is not.
Jeff Jarrett, I don't know.
No, those are their two. AOP is very serious and menacing. No.
Yeah, well, you never know. So,
I wouldn't leave you for booking ideas because that was terrible.
You put me on the spot.
That was terrible options.
Anyway, shout out to Paul Ellering. And thank you for bringing up AOP and putting that, force behind them.
And it's cool because now the Raw Tag Team division just got
real serious.
It got a little bit more serious.
It got real.
You good?
Yeah. I'm backing my guys.
It got real.
Finally got a real tag team on Raw.
It got real. Yeah, no, it gave them what they were lacking because the tag team division over there was really struggling. So that was a good look.
It was a good look. And then we had a surprise return from Bobby Lashley.
Well, was it really a surprise?
Well, no, but.
Okay. But, no, but
Thanks for shutting
cool.
me down.
Sorry,
Thanks.
That's what I do.
Thanks.
Why?
It's hot out here.
You popped your collar, gave yourself a pat on the shoulder.
I can't do nothing out here.
Weird.
Right.
Anyway, that was cool. Crowd was a nice pop for him.
Right.
And like I mentioned earlier, there's reports that they're trying to set up him versus Brock for SummerSlam. So that should be...
It should be interesting. I'll put it this way. I think it'll be a different style match for Brock Lesnar if that happens.
About time. Everything is the same with him. So
he had a different match with AJ.
Yeah, well,
he knows who he wants to wrestle with. That's his.
It shouldn't be that way since you said he's such a company guy. But okay. Anyway, but that was cool that Bobby came up. We had what else do we have?
We had Jeff Hardy make his return as well.
That was another. It was a weird pairing between
Jeff Hardy, Seth, and Finn Balor versus Miz and the Miz Taraj.
I love those three, so I'm for it.
I'm pretty sure.
But
they had
What was that? That's supposed
that
to mean?
funny moment though.
No, what was that supposed to mean? I'm pretty sure.
What? I'm pretty sure it was, you liked them, whatever. But they had a great moment in the backstage when Jeff Hardy ran into Matt
Brother
Hardy.
Nero.
Broken Matt.
Yeah.
And Broken Matt goes, yeah.
That was fantastic.
And then bringing Bray Wyatt. He's like, I'm glad to see you finally come. And it's like, and then he looks at Finn and Seth. They're like, what was that?
Yeah.
He's like, nothing. What are you talking about?
That was super cool. And I don't know, a lot of people weren't there, but after the show, with the beach balls,
Yeah.
they participated. Jeff, Seth, and Finn participated.
With the beach balls?
Yeah, that was cool. That was a cool sighting. But we also missed the return of Samoa Joe.
No, we talked about Samoa Joe, remember?
We didn't really talk about his return, really.
Well, I said it. He's coming back and he's going to wrestle.
But we really didn't talk about his return.
Well, he interrupted Roman Reigns.
But we didn't really go into depth about it. How do you feel about Samoa coming back?
Well, again, with Samoa Joe, I felt like, he should have been there at WrestleMania to tag with Braun and probably do a feud with Braun. But apparently you have
Make me look stupid on here.
Whatever.
Punch you.
And, I'm a Samoa Joe guy. Everybody knows that. I'm a Samoa Joe guy.
I like Joe.
I'm glad to see him back.
I like Joe.
Shout out to Samoa.
Yeah.
And
he's a top talent.
I'm surprised. I'm interested to see how he goes moving forward on Raw when he faces, Brock or
I mean,
Roman.
we saw him when he faced Brock. It was he gave him a run for his money.
That's his style of fight.
Yeah, Joe is dope. So I'm very happy that he's back. And remember, I told you I was on the fence about picking him on the stable. So, but shout out to Samoa Joe. So that was cool.
Maybe you could get a chance next week when they do a superstar shakeup.
Don't worry about what I'm gonna do.
Are we going next week?
I asked you that via text message and you ignored me.
No, I did. I responded, but
No,
I
didn't.
might. This I did.
No, you didn't.
I did.
No, you didn't.
I'll show it to you later.
Okay.
But I might have to recap on that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but I do want to go.
All right.
To be honest with you.
It's in Connecticut. You driving?
I always drive.
Okay.
Okay.
What's that supposed to mean? Anyway, sadly, to close out this segment about Raw, I wanted to bring up that Paige officially announced her retirement.
Yeah.
And it was very hard to see because she's so young.
She's so young.
And
when someone has to take your dream is taken away from you.
Right.
And again, she's young. It's really an unfortunate situation.
And she did so much already by the time of age of 25.
And I just think a lot of people, I think it should be mentioned. I think a lot of people fail to realize how serious neck injuries are.
Yeah.
And Sasha Banks has caught a lot of flack for
what happened.
But
Paige already denounced that, because
that's what I meant to, Paige denounced that, and
they did the same spot the night before, and it's just like,
and it's just if it wasn't gonna be her, it would have been someone else.
It's just a freak accident.
And with neck injuries, you see how with Edge, whatever, it's gonna happen. You're kind of like you're injured goods, unfortunately, and it sucks that she's 25. That has to be the situation, but.
And, she mentioned that Edge had that talk with her, like, just got to find something else outside of wrestling.
And that's sad. That's not something you want to hear.
Right.
But
she landed pretty good.
She did, because now we're going to go right into SmackDown.
And
Shane McMahon opened up the show and mentioned that Daniel Bryan, now that he's cleared, he is a full-time performer.
Yep.
And who takes his place as GM?
Paige.
So
it's still her house.
It's still her house. So it's really good to see. And I had this conversation with my friends. It's like Daniel Bryan was not happy being a GM.
You could tell.
And I think, and that you're going to see that with Paige. But I think at least they're close to what she's close to what she loves.
Right.
And when there's a way, if it's meant for you, God puts that in your place. They'll find a way that she can, some type of medicine or whatever that can heal her. Look at, again, never say never, because look, we have Daniel Bryan,
the ultimate inspiration.
And like she alluded to that in her promo. So I'm hoping that's the case with her, just for the simple fact that she's 25.
Right.
Because when you're young, you can recover from a lot of things as opposed to someone who's older and has more wear and tear.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I hope for Paige, because she is an asset to the women's division. She's a pioneer for the evolution. So I'm happy for her that she still has some type of role with the
WWE?
WWE.
Yep.
And I hope her being a GM for SmackDown helps the women's division on SmackDown.
Yeah.
Because it's lacking.
Well, it got a little bit better because, they got to call up themselves.
With the Iconics duo, but...
They changed the name to just the Iconics.
Okay.
I feel like they're probably going to add more people to that, like probably a veteran to help them usher along.
A lot of people were very excited for the call-up of Billy
Iconics.
and Peyton.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they made a big statement on their come-up.
Yes, they did.
Because they said, we can make things disappear, like your championship to Charlotte.
And on cue...
They
let me, before we even get into the big moment, they did a number on Charlotte.
They did. They went in on her.
Savage. And I even mentioned this on changing the subject a little bit about them. I mentioned on my Twitter, I see them being the next Bella Twins.
Mm.
Do you
mean that in a good way or in a bad way? Because some people don't like the Bella Twins.
A lot of people do. I don't know, not a bad way.
Okay.
A good way in the sense that they're just
that best friend role.
and just being conniving and just finding ways to win and doing stuff like that. I see that in them, and a lot of people like them.
Yeah,
a lot of people like the Bella Twins. Like for going back to Access and everything. They're not doing anything, but their lines are crazy.
Yeah,
I remember my friends were waiting for one of my friends to come back with the car that we rented to pick us up from
the restaurant. You had a car. Okay, cool.
I told you that.
Yeah, it's cool. Go ahead, continue. They had a car. I had a lift. All right, go ahead. Talking about me being positive.
Did you give me money for the rental?
I'm just saying.
No, because it's a lot of money. I'm not going to sit there.
Like I said, y'all popping.
You want free rides. I'm not Uber. This is not Lyft.
You know what I'm saying?
Anyway.
See how you treat family? All right, go ahead.
I mean, I asked family to help me out with a couple of things, and they curved me a few times. So
yeah, right. I'm always here for you.
Oh, are you?
I am. I'm
okay,
here.
So we don't have that much time. But anyway, no, but yeah, their impact is really, and that's surprising to me because I am not the biggest Bella Twins fan, so I don't see. But a lot of people really, really like them, so I can see them as the Iconics, similar to the Bella Twins if it's played right, and that could be good for them because they're popular.
Yeah, and keeping on with that, they did do a number on Charlotte, which then prompted for Carmella to cash, and you was in the building for that. How did that feel when
I caught it too, because we instantly thought, I don't know why we were sitting there, and we were just like, wait a second, they're really going in. So instantly,
and then the crowd started chanting for Carmella.
But even before that, even before I even think people realized what was going on. My phone was instantly to the entrance. Like, I was waiting for the music to hit. And then that's when people started chanting for Carmella. But I think that's why they were stalling, just because people were anticipating it.
So there's like, hold that thought. Let's make the
And then the music hit, and Carmella comes out. It was.
And
dope.
It's funny because you see Mike Chioda kind of like.
Oh my god! Like,
he's
bro,
like,
really?
You sure you want to do this?
Yes. Like, what?
Are you sure you want to?
Yes.
You sure you don't want to hold this again one more time before you
like
give
you're
it?
wasting time for Super Charlotte to charge up and retain. Like,
even after he gave the briefcase, he's like, all right, hold on, before I ring the doorbell, before I ring the bell, Charlotte, you okay? You awake? You're up? Like, everybody like, come on. But when Alberto Del Rio cashed in, whoever it was still on the ground.
Yeah.
Like,
come on, what are you doing? But with that said, Carmella was successful in her in her cashing in.
Mella was money.
Mella was money. And it was just so, again, she's a heel, but that moment when you win your first championship and everyone was cheering and she's, celebrating with the fans and everything. I probably heard, if you guys saw my video, I definitely did scream. So I was very happy. Not only happy because I picked her, but I am a Carmella fan. And
she even said it on her Twitter, like, all you people that were saying that I'm going to have a false cash in and y'all thought I was going to lose. This is for you guys. And da-da-da-da. She went in this winning. I put it up on Instagram.
She won. So good for her.
I'm happy, man.
I know someone had tweeted us and said she's going to be a transitional champion. And we'll see. I don't know if she will.
Maybe she will. Maybe she won't. One thing I know is Enzo touched gold, Carmella touched gold, and Big Cass is still waiting.
He's been injured, but like you didn't have to take shots at him.
I'm just saying, he's still waiting.
But
this will be interesting when he comes back because apparently he's ready to come back. So maybe he'll be part of the superstar shakeup.
I can see that. But Carmella, congratulations! I'm happy. I can't wait to see. And it's a breath of fresh air just to see. Okay, now there's new because Carmella hasn't been really used.
Yeah.
You see, she won the Money in the Bank match.
She's been chilling. She had some good moments with what's that boy name? The one that she had walking around, James Ellsworth.
Yeah. And
then she had some good movements with the New Day during the mixed match challenge.
That was good. So
she had some good promos with them.
Yeah, so we'll see. I like the whole thing where she like starts screaming, like that kind of like that screeching scream.
Yeah.
So, and I'm excited to see new feuds.
Yeah.
With that, and that probably means that Charlotte is going to Raw because they're probably going to set up Charlotte and Ronda for.
If that's the case, I hope they send Sasha or Bayley or both to SmackDown. I know you don't like that brand, but she would do so much better over there.
In what sense? If they're going to continue to do tag teams, in what sense?
No, I'm telling you, the door's going to open over there. Once Charlotte moves.
And we forgot to discuss that. Sasha and Bayley have a match next week on Raw.
Yeah.
And now I'm conflicted because if either one loses, I feel like the one that loses is going to go to SmackDown. So now there's a chance that storyline doesn't happen, which is what we all been wanting, has been, again, when they show like video clips, not takeovers, clips of the previous week or stuff that happened.
Yeah.
Sasha and Bayley's brawl got like over 1 million views.
It did.
So that's a top storyline that WWE, for whatever reason, has not, really cashed in on. So I'm worried to see if they're going to continue with this, or is it just going to be a sending off to one of them to SmackDown?
I feel like they're running parallel how Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn was for a very long time, where it's just like they're just gonna always fight. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I feel like they're best friends, but they're always gonna fight. And I feel like that's what they're gonna try to take.
But I feel like
Sasha and Bayley.
think that's what they're doing with Sasha and Charlotte. I because if something tells me last year I wasn't sure, but I think this year Sasha's going to SmackDown.
I feel like she is,
because Charlotte's gonna be out here. I don't know what they're gonna do with Bayley. Maybe they do send Bayley to.
I think they
SmackDown.
both, because I think having Asuka, Charlotte, Ronda Rousey on Raw is just enough, and Nia Jax is the champion. Yeah, it's just enough. So send Sasha and Bayley over. And
and they can elevate that division.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'm saying the door's gonna open more with more possibilities.
As long as they don't
because you don't know who else they're gonna call up.
As long as they get rid of the tag team,
or bringing in the tag team titles.
But when will they drop that? Like probably next year.
Maybe the end of this year. That's what I'm saying. Like with this new superstar shakeup, you don't know who they're gonna call up,
right? And
you don't know how they're gonna set it up,
right? But that's cool. But SmackDown needs to go back to just having matches, and not everything being tag team. So I'm hoping if they do go over, it'll be a good look. And who's to say? Because it might help. It might help Sasha and Bayley because look, Kevin and Sammy had helped them. Yeah. And now they're gonna go back to Raw. So. Yeah, it bothers me.
We didn't mention that though with how Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn had their one-on-one to try to win a contract for Raw. Mm-hmm. I feel like that's gonna be a funny storyline and it's gonna be very interesting and have some great matches between them two. So that count out was very. Yeah, I mean that was obvious. Yeah, it's obvious.
Yeah, and listen, this is another the art of building up feuds is lost with this company because it's another feud, and especially when it's between two friends.
Yeah, how they switched on each other so quick in Kurt Angle's office. Yeah, it's like I have a family. Yeah, he doesn't have a family. He doesn't have a wife and kids. Yeah, Sammy looking like word. That's like the
bus. Like that. You can get an easy a good feud out of. That storyline with friends, right. It's always a good storyline. Yeah. So, but that's given they're gonna go to Raw. They did what they had to do on SmackDown, which was great. Like I said, I was not here for Sammy. A lot of people were Sammy fans. I just didn't.
But now,
I see it. I see it in him. So it was a good move for them.
How did you feel about the number one contender match for the U.S. title?
Well, I'll mention this for that and the tag team. The number one contender. Another thing I posed on question, what was the whole point of it? Because at the end of the day, the Usos and Randy they're entitled to
a rematch
clause. So what was the whole point of having a number one contender match and then them still winning anyway? Right. I think it was like a curveball that hit the WWE tried to throw at us, not realizing they get that.
Right.
I just thought that was and I'm fine with the winners because that's how it's supposed to be.
Right.
So I don't know.
Yeah, it was kind of weird with that whole situation as well.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of the one contender match when you do 0-1 already. Because, like you said, they won anyway. So what was the point of having the match? It feels like a filler. It's just like a throwaway filler now.
Yeah.
If you want to throw a curveball, I like had Bobby Roode win or
But then if you have him win or them win, it's just like, but then the rightful people need their rematch clause. So I just, I think that's lazy booking, not realizing, okay, this is what's supposed to happen.
Anyway, I got you.
Did you cut me off?
I was agreeing with you.
You said anyway.
I mean, like, anyway, like, that's, like, I was adding on.
Anyway, so what we have next?
Then, early in the night, Paige booked another dream match.
Yes.
Daniel Bryan versus AJ Styles. And that match was lit. I don't know how it was in the building when you was there.
No, it was dope.
But it came off great on TV.
It was dope.
And I'm sitting there locked in like, yo. I'm not even touching my phone. I'm just locked in
watching
it.
We got it on free TV.
Yeah, and we got it on free TV.
So and it just goes back to the point with you assuming that they were told, Shinsuke and AJ were told the whole back
because they match
WrestleMania
was hot.
That's what I'm saying, on free TV.
Yeah,
So you get what I'm saying?
yeah.
So I don't know what was the situation, but yeah, this match, it came off like the way it did come off.
I think they allowed that to happen because Daniel Bryan's probably going to go to Raw. So they're like, let's get
I hope he doesn't. I don't think he needs to go to Raw.
I think SmackDown?
SmackDown needs the
yes movement.
Not only the yes movement, but the star power.
Yeah.
And I think SmackDown will. I'm not a SmackDown person, but I
love
think
SmackDown. Shout out to Greg.
But I think keeping him on there, you have AJ Shinsuke heel turn is already starting off well. I thought it was pretty funny with his backstage promo with Renee.
Yeah, Shinsuke when he's like, yeah, I'm sorry with a wink and everything like that. And
and then
that don't even sound right. Can you explain to us about this apology?
Yeah.
He's like, sorry, no speaking any English, and walked away. That shit was hilarious.
That already started off well. So
and then,
I think you have Shinsuke, Daniel, AJ, maybe someone else. When
Shinsuke interrupted their match and took them out, it was like.
Like I said, I think if you can continue and then build up the women's division, the tag team division is already pretty lit for SmackDown.
Right.
So I think they can definitely see, maybe obviously not more ratings or viewers, just because SmackDown just always kind of suffers in that sense.
Right.
But I think it won't be like, oh, SmackDown is this, is that. You can really see them come up with the right people going over to that brand. So, but yeah, seeing Shinsuke turning heel and interfere in Daniel and AJ's match was refreshing.
It's very refreshing.
So, I mean, it was a good SmackDown. Dare I say I think I like SmackDown
better than Raw
this week. I think so. And Raw had all the call-ups.
Exactly, right?
So SmackDown was very
Shout out
good.
to SmackDown.
It was a very good show, and I was there to see it, so that was dope.
Yeah, shout out to you too. You had a lot of fun this weekend, I see.
I did.
Well, on NXT, as you know, is NXT after a takeover, so it's very bare bones. Yeah. Kairi Sane went over on Lacey Evans. So you got some points over there. Good job.
And I was scared because you remember I was like, man, the past couple weeks,
but
the past 2 weeks she's been out there. So you think she's next up, right?
Yeah, she's gonna be your next contender for the title. Either her having a program with Lacey Evans or however they choose to go. But Kairi Sane is in the plans.
Yeah. I like how they do that. Like with whoever's next up, it
takes time for them to get there.
Yeah. So I like how they build up different people, but yeah. And then what else we had? And
then War Machine debuted it, interrupting a match between Heavy Machinery and Santino and that two groups. I don't know those guys. Sorry guys, I don't know you remember your names, but they changed their names from War Machine because I can't remember. I was in the stands and I didn't really take notes because they pre-tape it, so I was really just like trying to get things up.
Don't put their secrets out there.
They know. Everybody knows. So they changed War Machine name to War Raiders.
Yeah.
So the crowd was kind of mad because it was up there like, War Machine, War Machine, War Machine. Look up at the screen, it says War Raiders. Who the hell is the War Raiders? What is going on here? But shout out to them. They made their debut as well this past week on NXT. Yeah. 205 Live had their moment. Lucha Party came out.
Finally, we got Kalisto got a win.
Kalisto got a win over Tozawa.
Drew Gulak, he scared me with the PowerPoint thing. I thought he was coming back.
Drew Gulak showed off again. against Mark Andrews.
I had a good night for a 205.
Yeah.
So that was good. And
then also on top of that, we had Cedric Alexander and Mustafa Ali have their moment in the ring where Mustafa's like, you bested me. This title belongs to you. All the other stuff. Only for no other than Buddy Murphy to interrupt and take out Cedric Alexander.
Which is funny because I thought maybe Mustafa would have turned heel. Yeah. Because, again, you never really have face and face.
Right.
Yeah, Buddy Murphy come out.
Yeah.
And Buddy, see, I wish I should have planned my picks out better. Because even though Drew Gulak is doing his thing and Kalisto's doing his thing, but now you have Buddy Murphy who's up next, who's clearly going to have a program with Cedric. So,
yeah.
You know, but he looks, like I said, he looks good. It's just he really bulked up and lost enough pounds.
Yeah, it's all muscle now.
Muscle, yeah. So he looks good. But yeah.
One more thing before we get off this WWE boat.
Get off the boat.
Yeah, we have Undertaker versus Rusev in a casket match at the Great Royal Rumble. What is your thoughts on that?
What are we doing with Undertaker? Like, what are we doing?
I told you they trying to make that you trying to make that show pop. That's what I'm saying.
But you can
Roman might go over right there and win that title from Brock over there.
But it's hard. It just besides all of that, it tarnishes last year with Undertaker quote unquote retiring.
Yeah, it does.
But it really does. Like what we.
In the Great Royal Rumble, they have Triple H in there, Kurt Angle in there. Daniel Bryan's gonna be in there.
It's gonna be dope.
It's gonna be a dope Royal Rumble.
And what's the stipulation? Whoever wins the.
I don't think they announced anything yet. So we already know that whoever wins between Brock and Roman is gonna face Samoa. So I don't know how they're gonna handle that. Anyway, jumping off that boat real quick, we also had an amazing Supercard weekend, I heard, even though Ring of Honor had some issues with their servers. So even when I tried to watch it, when I got home from TakeOver, it was very difficult for me to watch it. Plus, down in Nola, the area that I was in, service wasn't that great.
Yeah, I didn't get the chance to watch. I was relying on you with that.
Yeah, I got a chance to watch Cody versus Kenny.
How was that?
They told an amazing story. Oh, my God.
I got to catch that.
Brandy took a bump through the table after taking a V trigger.
Yeah.
And it was just a great match.
Who took a bump?
Brandy.
Yeah. Oh, she did.
She went through the table from a V trigger.
Oh.
And then they had Flip come out and pick her up because Flip got a crush on her thing. And then the Young Bucks came out. And Young Bucks like, we got to make a decision right now. And he ran down to the ring because the ref was down.
Yeah.
And they was choosing between Cody and Omega. Who's going to get a super kick. So they're like teasing the crowd. Yeah. They get ready to super kick Cody. Cody ducks. And they hit Omega. So then the ref starts waking up. Yeah. And Cody sees it, picks up Omega, hits his finisher. Yeah. And pins. And now the Young Bucks is like, oh, crap, what we just do? Yeah. And it carries over to being the Elite that just dropped yesterday. Yeah. And it was the 100th episode, and they call it finale. Yeah. So everybody's thinking, maybe they're going to break up being Elite. Yeah. They had a great part when Marty Scurll goes, yeah, guys, I just got a call for a record deal. And they're going to pay me $5 million. Because, they just dropped the record last week. Yeah. With the two Sweet Boys, whatever they call themselves. And then they're like, so the Young Bucks like, yeah, we getting paid? He's like, no, they just want me. So I'm going. They're like, but you're being Elite.
They're so funny.
So he's like, no, but I'm going to do this by myself. Yeah. I love you guys. So now Young Bucks are mad at him. Yeah. And then they had a scene where somebody killed Joey Ryan. They don't know who killed Joey Ryan, but they're trying to make it seem like it might be Hangman Page. Yeah. It might be Cody. Yeah. Like, it's, and then they show the footage of when the Young Bucks ran down and tried to make a decision. And before then, Cody's like, after this is over, we're all going to be friends again. Yeah. And we can go ahead and have a party in here. It's going to be on me. Da, da, da. Yeah. So after he won, they're in there. He's like, yeah, let's party. Woo! And then everybody else is like, yeah, I'm not in the mood to party. Yeah. And they're like, where's Marty? He's like, Marty got to deal. Oh, Marty will be back. Yeah. Let's party. And then the scene ends with Cody basically sitting there by himself. And he's feeling alone. Because, Brandy's away because she got hurt. Yeah. She's with Flip Gordon somewhere. Like, just the storytelling in that group alone is just so amazing.
It's like I told you when you put me on, I think they're so creative. Just like hyping themselves up, finding different ways to just promote themselves.
Right.
And I I'm surprised that the Young Bucks were going to super kick Cody as opposed to Kenny. I don't know why I sensed that they were going to pair with Cody.
Yeah, but after a while they started realizing Cody was messing with both of them heads. So
Yeah.
they're like, I'm going to go with Cody.
Okay.
And then afterwards, actually, Young Bucks, they showed it on Being Elite. They went to Kenny's locker room to try to like confront him about it.
Yeah.
He's like, nah, man, y'all already made y'all decision. Why did y'all even have to think about it? We've been best friends. And then Bishi's in back there with him. So Bishi's like, nah, y'all got to leave. He's like, nah. I was like, nah, y'all got to leave. Y'all got to leave. Yeah. So that whole thing is happening. I think it's going to end with a whole kumbaya now. Because they're like, I think they're going to take a break from Being Elite. And they're going to bring it back sometime down the line. But that's some great storytelling. I got to go back and watch Supercard. Don't judge me, guys. Don't judge us, because I know she's going to watch it too.
Yeah, because Nola definitely took up a lot of our time.
Yeah, it took a lot of our time.
And money. Time and money.
Yeah. And also, going back towards WWE, sidebar, there's a lot of great independent events going on during NOLA. I know that they had, like, Progress, Toni Storm defending her title during Access.
Nice.
And they just had a lot of great events this past week. I'm sorry I was unable to see everything. I'm going to definitely look for it on the internet. If you have a link to any of the independent shows that happened this past weekend, just hit us up at, the Mixed Tag Show and, send it to us in a DM or something, because we definitely want to see everything that happened. Like, we're still fans. Like, you know what I'm saying? We're not just stick to WWE. We want to see everything. So if you have anything that you want to share with us, go ahead and hit us up in the DM at the Mixed Tag Show. Or our personal ones at
Miss Jenna, baby. BAYBEE.
And Blue Magic Grind. I just want to make sure we pointed that out for you guys. Yes. Make sure you hit us up, follow us, like our videos and stuff like that. We got some dope videos, too, for things that we do. The promo. Yeah. Shout out to WE Shop. We did one for them, too. If you can find our video on there, like it, and everything like that.
And if you want to buy any merchandise from them, just go to our link at the Mixed Tag Show.
Instagram.
And click on the link and buy all the latest merch from them.
Right. And you can get all the deals they have with them as well.
Exactly.
So you'll be helping out our show. You get your merch.
And you're helping out.
Everybody's going to be happy.
Everyone's happy. You got some fly stuff. Like I said, I think this jersey's pretty dope.
Yeah, that jersey was hot. I seen when you posted it.
Yeah. So.
I also want to bring up, again, I know you just came off the fight, so you didn't get a chance to see it last night. Plus, you was at SmackDown. They had the Andre the Giant documentary happen last night.
Oh, yeah.
On HBO.
Yeah, I know you were definitely tweeting about that.
Such a great documentary. It was an hour and a half.
Yeah.
It was just not long enough.
It was on HBO, right?
It was HBO. They had Hulk Hogan talk. They had Dave Meltzer talk. Uncle Dave talk. Tim White, the old referee that used to be, he talked. Apparently, those two used to be best friends. Mm-hmm. So then he got a moment where he was talking about Andre the Giant, and Vince McMahon was speaking as well. Mm-hmm. And they talked about when they finally, when Andre the Giant passed away, and you could just see the sadness in Tim White's face, and you could see the sadness in Vince McMahon's face, and they talk about how it happened and stuff like that.
It's been documented that they really, Andre and them, like,
they was very close. And very Tim White, they was very close. Because even when Tim White was talking about it, and I'm sorry, duck tears, Tim White was like, "There's no crying in wrestling," just to stop himself from crying. It was like a line he just said. He's like, "I'm sorry. There's no crying in wrestling." I was like, "Damn, bro, you just hit me right here.
I gotta watch
you just hit me right here." And even you got the chance to see Vince McMahon tear up, and you don't really get the chance to see Vince McMahon tear up, like, really.
You don't really get to see a lot of people just be human,
Right.
We view them as these executives or these larger than life people, but
right.
At the end of the day, people are human. So I can imagine, especially again, Andre and their family is very close.
Yeah.
So.
He even said, he did an interview, he talked about it. He was like, a lot of people feel like Andre felt like he was used and let go when he couldn't wrestle anymore. He didn't want him to have that final feeling, and that's what was bothered Vince. Mm-hmm. So it was great to see that Vince, acknowledge that. He wanted people to know that he's always been a family. He always will be the family.
It's weird when you mention that, and I don't want to take away from the document, but it's funny how a lot of people have that impression,
right,
with the WWE and Vince. I don't know what it is, but I think when you in all relationships, when you're with someone for too long, you're gonna feel some type of way about different things, and you want to move on and what have you. You're gonna feel just have different feelings. So
yeah. But definitely get a chance to check out that documentary.
Okay.
On demand if you get a chance. It's also show how Andre put over Hogan, how Andre put the business before himself, in a sense. So yeah, check that out when you get a chance.
I will.
And to you too, guys. Like
I will. I need to get some sleep though.
yeah, get your rest up. I'll say wait till the weekend and handle all that stuff.
Yeah.
Before we end the show, we do want to make an announcement. Yes. Not now, but next week, the Mixed Tag Show. Oh, it's me with that? I don't know what that was. Next week, the Mixed Tag Show will be making an announcement about Backlash.
Ooh.
Just keep it like that.
It's exciting.
It's exciting. We're doing something different, guys.
Yeah.
And we're gonna need your help.
Yeah. To pull this off, but
yeah,
it should be pretty dope.
It's gonna be to pull this off is gonna be a challenge, but we're up for the challenge.
Yeah, and if everything goes smoothly,
it might not be the last time.
It might not be the last time. It might go a little bit bigger. So we'll see.
So tune in next week to the Mixed Tag Show right here on whatever platform you listen to: iTunes, YouTube, Spotify, iHeartRadio, wherever you're listening to.
We're basically on everything now, right?
We're basically on everything right now. We're just waiting on iHeart.
We live, baby.
We're going to get there.
We getting there.
Last one. All right? On that note, hit us up on Twitter, Instagram at
Miss Jenna, baby.
At Blue Magic Grind. At the Mixed Tag Show. See how we did that?
Right. See?
Wow.
Wait.
All right. Too sweet. There we
Word.
go. All right? Hit us up. And subscribe and all that good stuff. On that note, peace.
It's the Mixed Tag Show.